Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sage Business Cloud Accounting Software online lecture series. Today we will start from customer recurring invoices. You can enter customer recurring invoices from customers, transactions, customer recurring invoices. Right. Last session we have completed invoices. Now you can enter customer invoices from customers, transactions, and customer tax invoices. Now, difference between the invoices and recurring invoices is you can automate your invoices from recurring invoices. Now, customer tax invoice is you need to manually enter that transaction. However, you can automate your invoicing process from recurring invoices. For an example, if you're providing accounting services for a company, you can schedule your invoices. Now, for an example, you are providing accounting services for a company, and every month you are charging from that company. Okay, so you can schedule your invoice, then system will automatically generate the invoice and send to your client. Okay. You can set the frequency and start date, end date. Those filters you can set. After that, system will automatically generate the invoice and send to your client. Okay, you can enter recurring invoices from customers, transaction, customer recurring invoices, and click add recurring invoice. You can select the customer from customer drop-down menu. This recurring invoice number will generate from the system. You can select sales rep. And if you have signed any agreement with your client, you can enter that reference number if available. And if you are giving any discount, you can enter the discount percentage. You can select the layout. Recurring invoice setup, you can set up your start date, frequency, and end date. From start date, you can select the start date. And one important thing, this start date should be future date. Okay, you cannot enter backdated and backdated start date. The start date should be future date. Next, you can select the frequency. Every day, every week, every second week, every month, every second month, every third month, every 6th month, every year, like that, you can select the frequency. Now, every month you are sending invoices, you can select every month. Next, if end date available, you can select the end date, or you can keep it blank. Okay, if you have any agreement with your clients, or if you have any end date for this invoicing, you can select the end date, or if you don't select any end date, it will continue. Next, due date for payment. If you are giving credit period for this client, you can enter the credit period. And from this option, you can select days from the date of invoice. Next, that invoice creation has two methods, as draft or automatically. If you select draft, system will generate the invoice, but it will not process. If you select automatically, it will generate the invoice and process the invoice and send to your client. If you want to check the invoice and process the invoice, you can select as draft, or if you want to automate your invoicing, you can select automatically. Next, email distribution. Now, for this email address, this invoice will deliver. And if you want to add a CC address, you can tick this option and you can enter email address here. Next, you can select items. and you can enter the amount, and you can save this invoice. Okay. Then every month on this date, system will process this invoice. And here also, if you want, you can select your analysis codes, and you can add additional notes. And you can set this message, and you can save this recurring invoice. After you enter the recurring invoice, you can view the recurring invoice list. You can view customer name, recurring invoice, date, last run, next run, end date, total value, frequency, create invoice, and sales rate. From this customize grid, you can customize this grid, and you can search transactions. You can filter transactions. You can sort by multi-column. Like that, you can customize this grid. Okay, and from this list, you can view invoice date. First time you enter this invoice, then last run, last time this invoice run or processed, then next run, end date for this invoice, and value for this invoice. And also you can view frequency, and from create invoice, you can view whether it's automatically generated or it's a draft invoice. Next, there are another tab, view draft invoices. If you want to view your draft invoices, you can click this view draft invoices. Then system will display what are the draft invoices you have entered. And if you want to process this invoice, you can tick this invoice and process tax invoices. Or you can select process an email, then system will convert this draft invoice to process the invoice, and it will email to your client. Okay, like that, you can create your recurring invoices. And there are few buttons available, inactivated buttons. If you select any invoice, it will activate. From here, if you want, you can delete your invoices, or if you want to inactive or active invoices, you can select, and you can inactive or active invoices. Next, change the frequency. Now you can select invoices, and if you want to change frequency on more than one invoices, you can select those invoices, and you can click this change the frequency, and from here you can change the frequency. We have changed first for one. Okay, now you can see every second month it will process. Next, change end date. If you want to change the end date, you can select this end date, and change the create invoice method. You can select as draft or automatically. Next, change report layout. You can change your invoice layout from change layout. Okay, like that, you can customize this grid, and you can use this recurring invoice for an example. If you are running apartment complex, now in apartment complexes, they will charge that management fee, then sinking fund, those kind of charges available. So they are, for an example, if they charge every quarter that management fee, you can set this recurring invoice as quarterly, and system will automatically generate the invoice, and it will send to your apartment owners. Okay, like that. You can use this recurring invoices for any fixed amount. If you are charging frequently, you can use this recurring invoice. Okay, you can create new recurring invoice from by clicking add recurring invoice, or you can go to your if you have any invoices, you can create that invoice as a recurring invoice. You can go to actions and open the invoice and click options, click create recurring invoice. Then system will create that invoice as a recurring invoice. You can use these recurring invoices for any charities, or any, if you are charging membership fees in monthly, quarterly, or annually, so you can use this recurring invoices option. Right, next we will move to credit notes. Now you have entered customer quotations, sales orders, after that to invoice to your customers. Now sometimes your customers may return goods due to damage of the goods, or if it is expiry, or due to any other reason, they will return goods. In that case, you can enter customer credit note. If you enter customer credit note, your inventory will debit and your trade receivable will credit. Okay, your inventory will your sales will debit and your trade receivable will credit, and also your inventory will debit and cost of sales will credit. Right, you can create customer credit notes from customers, transactions, customer credit notes, and click add credit note. From customer drop down menu, you can select customer. After that, system will display customer balance, credit limit, postal address, tax number, and you can enter returning items. You can enter quantity and price. And if you are using analysis code, you can select analysis code and you can save this credit note. After you enter credit note, you can view list of credit notes from here. You can view number of transactions or number of credit notes in here in this list. And you can view customer name, document number, customer reference, date, tax total, those columns. And if you want to customize this by clicking this gear button, you can customize. And by clicking these headings, you can sort. You can search credit notes, and you can filter credit notes. You can sort multi-columns. Like that, you can customize this grid. And there are two buttons, print and email. If you select any transaction, these buttons will activate. If you want to print or email more than one invoice or one credit note, you can tick those credit notes and you can print or email. Okay, now there are situations like this. Okay, now you have started your company recently, and previously you have used different software, or you have manually maintained your transactions. And now after you start the system, one of your clients will return goods which was invoiced in previous system or when you are doing manually. Okay. In that case, this system doesn't have that invoice. Therefore, you can enter manually that transaction. Go to customers, transactions, and you can select credit note, and you can enter customer, and you can select items, and you can process the credit note. And sometimes you have invoice for that customer within the system. Okay, after you start the system, you have invoice, and those invoice, one of your customers will return goods from that invoice. In that case, you can convert this invoice to an a credit note. Okay, you can go to list of invoices, and you can select that invoice, and you can select create credit note. Then you don't want to enter that details again. System will populate all details based on your previous invoice, and you can check those details, and you can save this credit note. Okay, there are two situations. First one, you may enter invoices in the system, or sometimes you in previous system invoice customer will return. In that case, you can use manual credit note, or if it is invoice available in the system, you can convert that invoice to an credit note. And also, if you want to enter credit notes, you can go to transactions, customer credit notes, and click add credit notes. Select the customer, and from invoice, you can select the invoice. Okay, now for an example, if this invoice has two lines, and if your customer return only one item, you can delete other line, and you can process this credit note. Okay, you can change the quantity, or now for an example, this invoice you have sold 10 quantity, and customer will return only one. That case, you can edit this quantity, and you can process the credit note. Okay, after you enter credit notes, you can view your list of credit notes, and you can view number of credit notes you have entered. And from this customize grid, you can customize this grid. You can search credit notes. You can filter credit notes. You can sort by multi-columns. Like that, you can customize this grid. Okay, right. Like that, you can enter customer credit notes. And now, if it is that invoice available in the system, you can convert that invoice to credit note. And if that invoice not available in the system, you can manually enter the credit note. In this credit note also options available. Credit note history, you can view. You can view the user-defined fields. If you want to add additional details, you can use these user-defined fields. And if you want to attach documents, you can attach, for an example, credit note approval notes. You can add here. And any notes you want to add to this credit note, you can add. And if you want to re-invoice this credit note, you can re-invoice. Or if you want to copy this invoice, you can copy this credit note. Okay, like that, you can enter credit notes, and you can start the process from the quotations, sales orders, tax invoices, recurring invoices, and credit notes. Okay, now there are common things for these 5 transactions. You can select customers, and you can enter reference, and you can select analysis codes. And if you want to add any notes, you can add notes in this line. Okay, for each item, if you want, you can add document notes. Next, there are 4 types: item, account, time, bundle. And for these 5 transactions, you can select item, or you can select account, you can select time, and you can select bundle items. Now, if you select item system, you can select items from this selection. If you select account, you can select GL account from this selection. If you select time, you can select time. And if you select bundle, you can select bundle items from this selection. Okay, and this quotation and sales order, it's just a document. There's no any accounting transactions. And if you activated that reserve that sales orders quantities, if you enter sales orders, it will reserve that items for particular customer. And for these transactions, if you are giving bulk discount, you can enter discount percentage in heading. And if you are giving line item wise discount, you can enter the percentage of discount amount. And if you want to add any lines, you can add by clicking this green color button. And if you want to remove any line, you can delete by clicking this red color button. Now we have entered customer quotations, customer sales orders, tax invoices, credit notes. Next, we will enter customer receipts. Now, we have invoice for customers, and customers will pay for their invoices. In that case, we can use this customer receipts to enter that customer payment. You can enter customer receipts from customers, transactions, customer receipts, and click add receipt. You can select your customer. After you select your customer, system will display customer balance and customer outstanding invoices. The document number or receipt number will generate from the system. Next, you can enter receipt amount. And sometimes you may remember that when you are creating your customers, there's an option called auto allocate. Auto allocate receipts to oldest invoices. If you tick this option, When you enter your receipt amount, system will automatically allocate that receipt to oldest invoices. Okay. Now we will enter one amount. When you enter the amount, system will automatically allocate that receipt amount to invoices. Okay, right. Next, reference. Now, under reference, you can enter that customer check number or customer credit card number. You can enter in this reference. Next, bank account. Now, from this bank account drop-down menu, you can select the deposit account. Okay. Now, if you are depositing this bank account, you can select this bank account. And also, when you are creating bank accounts, you can select the default bank account. Now, in this system, this is the default bank account. You can see this default bank account. Therefore, when you enter transaction or when you start the processing transaction, this bank account will display as default bank account. If you want to change, you can change the bank account. Next, you can enter description for this payment, and you can enter comments. And from here, this is the transaction date or receipt date. Next, there are 4 payment methods: cash, check, credit card, EFT. EFT is electronic fund transfer. You can select the option that your customer is paying. Okay. If your customer is pay by check, you can select check, or if your customer is pay by cash, you can select cash. Next, analysis code. Here also you can select your analysis code, and if you click this analysis code, you can select your analysis codes. Okay, you can enter receipt amount here, or when you tick these invoices, system will calculate this payment amount or receipt amount. System will calculate. Or you can enter receipt amount here for each invoice. Then system will calculate the receipt amount. And also, if you are giving any discount after invoicing, such as early settlement discount, so if you are giving discounts, you can enter that discount amount here. Okay. Now, for an example, your customer has 30 days credit period. However, that customer will pay, or you may offer, if the customer pay within due dates, you will give additional discount. In that case, you can enter that additional discount when you enter customer receipt. Okay. After that, you can process this customer receipt. You can process an email, or you can process an print, or you can process the customer receipt. After you enter receipts, you can view your list of receipts. You can view number of transactions. You can view customer name, receipt number, description, comments, discount amounts, total, and bank accounts. Here also you can search. And you can filter. You can sort by multi-columns, and you can customize this grid. Okay, you can enter customer receipts, and after you enter the customer, that customer outstanding will reduce, and when you enter customer receipts, bank will debit and trade receivables will credit. Okay, the accounting transactions are bank or cash debit, trade receivables will credit. Okay, next we'll move to allocate receipts. Now you can generate your customer outstanding report from the system. You can go to customers, reports, customer balances, days outstanding. You can select a date and you can generate your report. We will discuss in detail when you are discussing customer reports. Now, after you generate this report, you can see some customers has invoice amounts and receipts amount both, plus values and minus values. Now, this is because you have entered customer invoices and you haven't allocated your customer receipts. Okay. Now, sometimes you may charge or you may collect advance payment from your customers. In that case, you cannot allocate your receipt to invoice because you haven't entered the invoice yet. Therefore, you cannot allocate your customer receipts to invoice. Or sometimes when you are entering receipts, you may forget to select customer invoice. Same way, when you enter customer credit notes, you may forget to allocate your customer credit note to customer invoice. In that case, system will display both invoice and receipt or invoice and credit note. If you haven't allocated your receipt or credit note, system will display that invoice, credit note, or customer receipt. So when you generate your report, if both transactions display in the report, you cannot get actual picture of the customer. Okay. Now for an example, in this customer has received 230 and invoice 230. However, this customer balance is 0. So this customer displaying the outstanding report because we haven't allocated that receipt into invoice. Therefore, this customer will display in the outstanding report even that the customer has 0 balance. Therefore, we use this customer allocation for allocate unallocated items. Okay. We will use this allocate receipt option to allocate unallocated transactions. Okay. First, we need to select the customer and refresh. Then system will display unallocated or unpaid invoices and receipts or credit notes. Now, if you want to allocate, you can allocate by drag and drop this receipt to invoice. Okay, now we have 10,000 invoice here, and we have 88,000 due amount. So we will check second invoice, 180,000 invoice. We will drag and drop this receipt to invoice. Then this outstanding or total invoice value is 108,000. Now due amount is reduced to 170,000. Okay. Like that, we can drag and drop our receipt or credit notes to this invoice. Okay. And when you are dragging, it's initially it's red color. but when you drop, it will change to yellow color. And you can see this due amount is reduced. Like that, you can allocate your invoice unallocated receipt or credit notes. However, sometimes if you allocate to incorrect invoice, you can again drag and drop. Again, you can drag and drop to right side, then it will again unallocate. You can see this due amount again increasing. Like that, you can allocate and unallocate your unallocated receipts or credit notes. Okay, now there are a few options. First one, show outstanding only. Now, if you tick this option, system will display only outstanding invoices. Now you can see all these invoices has a due amount. That means it's not settled invoices. Okay, if you untick this option and if you refresh, system will display all invoices. You can see this invoice has 0 due amount, that is those invoices fully settled. So if you want to view all invoices, you can untick this option. Now for an example, initially you have allocated incorrect invoice, then you want to again unallocate that customer receipts. So in that case, you can untick this option, then all allocated invoices also display. You can select that receipt and you can drag and drop to right side. Okay, like that, you can drag and drop, or you can allocate or unallocate. Next, there are 3 display options. First one, all invoices. If you select this option, system will display all unallocated invoices. Next, invoices between. If you select this option, you can select date range. Refresh. Then system will display outstanding invoices in this period. Next, specific invoice number. If you select this option and type any invoice number, system will display only that invoice. And also, if you select this all invoices, this from date, to date, and specific invoice number boxes will inactivated. And if you select invoices between, those from date and to date will activate, and specific invoice number will deactivated. And if you select specific invoice number, from date to date inactivated, then this specific invoice number will activate. Okay, next is split unallocated item amount. Now you can allocate your receipts to one or more than one invoices. And you can allocate more than one invoice to more than one receipt to one invoice. Like that, you can allocate. However, or sometimes you want to allocate specific amount to this invoice. Now for an example, now from this 10,000, you can allocate 5,000 to first invoice and 5,000 to second invoice. In that case, you cannot allocate, just drag and drop till allocate fully. So if you want to allocate specific amount, you can use this split unallocated item amount. Now you can drag and drop that receipt to invoice. Then system will ask value you want to allocate to this invoice. Now, if you want to allocate 5,000 for first invoice, you can enter 5,000 and click OK. Then system will allocate only 5,000. Next, 5,000 for second invoice. Okay, like that, you can allocate specific amount by using this split unallocated item tick box. Okay, we will allocate another receipt. Now from this 10,000, you want to allocate 4,000 for this invoice, and 6,000, balance 6,000 for next invoice. You can take this split unallocated item amount and you can allocate your receipt to invoices. After that, you can save. Okay, so we can use this allocate receipt for allocate unallocated receipts, so credit notes to invoices. The main purpose of this allocation is when we generate customer outstanding report, it will display invoices, receipts, or credit notes if we unallocated these transactions to invoices. And if both transactions display in the outstanding report, we cannot get a clear idea about that customer. Therefore, it's better if we can allocate unallocated transactions. So you can allocate transactions from customer, transactions, allocate receipts, and you can select your customer and you can allocate your transactions. Okay, next we will move to customer adjustments. Now, sometimes you want to increase or decrease your customer balances due to user errors or due to audit entries. You need to change your customer balances. In that case, you can use these customer adjustments, and from customer adjustments, you can increase or decrease your customer balances. You can enter these customer adjustments from customers, transactions, customer adjustments, and click add customer adjustment. Here you can select your customer, and if you want to increase your customer balance, from effect you can select increase, and if tax is available you can select tax type. You can select by affecting account. Now if it is this increasing, you can select that credit account from by affecting account. Now for an example, for customer transaction, you may enter to advertisement accounts. So in that case you can correct that transaction by selecting advertising account. Like that, correction account you can select from by affecting account. You can enter reference number and amount. After that, you can enter a description, comments, and process this transaction. If you are using analysis code, you can select analysis code and you can process the transaction. Next, if you want to decrease your customer balances, you can select decrease, and you can select by affecting account. You can enter amounts, and if you select decrease, that if customer has unpaid invoices, it will display here. Okay. Now, if you select increase, system will not display unpaid invoices. If you select decrease, system will display outstanding invoices. If you want, you can allocate and you can process this transaction. Next, sometimes you need to enter more than one customer adjustments. In that case, you can use this quick entry grid. And here you can enter, you can select date, effect, select customer, you can enter amount, and you can add lines, and you can select customer amount. Like that, you can enter more than one transaction in customer adjustment quick entry grid. And also, if you want, you can import customer adjustments. For import, you can download this sample and you can fill that document and you can import to the system. Okay, like that, you can enter customer adjustments for more than one customer by using this quick entry grid. Furthermore, if you have foreign customers, when you select foreign customer, system will display exchange rate and home currency. Okay, you can view customer amount in customer's currency, exchange rate, and home currency. Here also, you can use or you can select analysis codes. After that, you can process this customer adjustment. Okay, now we have completed the customer transactions and customer bad debt relief and recovered. You can enter from here. You can select your customer and you can enter. And also when you enter these transactions, if you have any foreign customers, you can enter that transactions in customers currency. And when you enter foreign customer transactions, system will display that customer's currency, exchange rate, and home currency. For all transactions, it will display. And even for customer receipts, if you select foreign customer, system will display local amount, customer currency amount, exchange rate. Okay, right. Next, we will move to customer reports. First report is customer statement run. Now, using this option, you can send customer statement for your all customers. You can select a particular customer or range of customers, and you can select date range, and you can email that their customer statement to your customers. Okay. Now, when you are sending a statement, you don't want to select manually each customer and each customer details. If you select customer range, system will automatically send each customer details to the relevant customer. Okay. Now, for an example, for audits, sometimes your customers may request their statement. In that case, you can use this customer statement run. You can just select your customers. You can select date range, and you can click next, and you can process this customer statement run. And when you are creating your customers, you can select that statement distribution method. If you select email, then you can send emails for your all customers. Okay, you can select customers, and you can select date range, and you can process this customer statement run. Email as per customer setting. And if you want to get CC email, or you can, if you want to get copy of each statement, you can click CC and you can enter email address, and you can process this customer statement run. Okay, this is email body, and you can design this email body or email message. Now here we have selected one customer. System will display 0 customer statements will be printed. 1 customer statements will be emailed. and by clicking send statements, you can send the statement or you can preview the statement. You can view customer name and customer transactions in this period, customer outstanding, and you can email this document. And there are a few options. Show balance brought forward. If you tick this option, system will display balance brought forward. And if you tick this exclude fully allocated invoices, then system will not display fully allocated invoices, or system will display only unpaid transactions. Next, show details. If you tick this option, system will display all line items in the invoice. Next, use foreign currency. If you tick this option, system will display statement in customer's currency. Next, exclude customers where balances are, there are three options: 0, negative, less than. And if you tick this 0, now if your customer has 0 balances, for those customers, system will not send customer statement. Next, negative. If you take this negative, system will not send statement for negative balance customers. Now, for an example, if your customers pay advance payment, their customer balance is negative or they have minus balances. Therefore, for those customers, system will not send statement. Then if you tick this less than and you enter any amount here, below this amount, customers balance below this amount, customers will not receive the statement. Okay, system will not send customer statement. The customers has balance less than this amount. And if you take this less than, the 0 and negative tick boxes inactivated. If you untick this option, again this 0 and negative activated. And if you tick less than, this box will activate. Okay, like that, you can use this customer statement run for send customer statements to your customers. Okay, next we will move to list of customers report. Now from this report, you can generate a list of customers. You can select customer, or you can select range of customers. If you don't select any customer, system will display all customer details. Next, from active, you can select active, inactive, or both customers. And from this category, you can select customer category. If you don't select any category, system will display all categories, and you can view report. From this report, you can view customer name, customer category, active, contact name, telephone number, and customer balance. And also, system will display balance in customer's currency. Next, there's a report option. If you select summary, system will display one line for one customer. And if you select detail, system will display their contact details, postal address, credit limit, sales reps, default price list. Those details also will display if you select detail. Next, if you tick this show user defined fields, system will display user defined fields. Okay, like this, you can generate your customer listing report. You can view number of pages, and you can export this report to PDF, CSV, or Excel. And also you can print or email this report. Next, we will move to sales by customer report. Now, from this report, you can view sales by customer. Okay. You can select customers here. You can select active customers, inactive customers, or you can select customer category. And from report options, you can select the date range. You can select monthly, quarterly, yearly, month to date, quarter to date, year to date, live to date, custom to date, last month, last quarter, last year. And if you select custom date, you can set a from date and to date. And if you select all, system will display all date range transactions. Next, include credit notes. If you tick this option, system will include credit notes to this sales by customer report. And here also, you can select summary or detailed report, and you can generate the report by clicking view report. Okay, now first we will generate summary report. If you select summary, system will display, system will group by customer, and it will display invoice date, invoice number, description, quantity, and total selling price. And for each customer, system will display the total, and you can view the grand total. And if you tick this option that include the credit note, system will display credit notes to this report. You can see that minus value is credit notes. And also, if you select detail, system will display each invoice line item also. Now in first report, summary report, it will display summary or one line for one invoice. However, if you select detail, system will display each line items in the invoice. Okay, like that, you can generate sales by customer. In this report, system has grouped the transactions into customer name. And you can view report start date, end date, number of pages. And you can export this report to PDF, CSV, Excel file. And if you want, you can print or email this report. And also by clicking this invoice line, you can view the original document or source document. Okay, right, like that, you can generate sales by customer report. And we will wrap up for today. Next session, we will start from sales by sales rep report.